If you own a home or have a mortgage on a home or are buying a home, do you really own it or does it own you? Let's talk about it. So if you have a mortgage on a home and you walk around saying that you own your home, you don't. The bank owns it. Fact. Okay, now let's say you do have your home paid off and now they're talking about 50-year mortgages. Could you imagine being like a 30-year-old that finally saves up enough for like what 4 to 10% down on a now $500,000 home, which used to be like $100,000, 1,200 square foot, just common home that's now a $500,000 depending on where you live. Could you imagine being 30 years old, coming up with the money to put down to satisfy the banks? And then you're now going to get a 50-year mortgage? You going to tell me that every 30-year-old is going to live in a house for 50 years? Man, you'll be dead before then. And furthermore, even if you do have a paid-off home, doesn't it own you? Doesn't, instead of the bank owning it, doesn't the house now own you? What happens if the AC unit goes out? How much that cost? House owns you. What happens if a hurricane comes, tears your front doors down, windows down, and the insurance companies these days, that happened to us. I know we lived in Dolphin Island and we got hit by a hurricane. What happened? Oh, you didn't have hurricane insurance. Well, we had insurance. Sorry, you didn't, have page 74 on page 378. That doesn't apply. Who owns it? Does the house own you or does the bank own you? Let's talk about it some more. Now let's talk about really owning it. Now let's say you bought a house during this current housing bubble or the one that bursted in 2008. And let's say you got this approved line of credit and you bought a house that was worth maybe 150, 200,000, and it inflated to 400,000, bubble burst, and now you're trying to get out of it? Now you really own it. But no, the bank's going to take it back and you're going to be on the street. Right? So if your house is paid off or whether you have a mortgage or not, you don't own it. Either the house owns you or the bank owns you. Understand? Isn't part of the American dream working hard, going to college, having a wife at home, taking care of the kids, making sure the kids' homework's done, nice meal on the table, white picket fence, dog, maybe a cat or something? Isn't that part of the American dream? Like, is it possible for the normal American to not be buried in debt for potentially 50 years now to get a home? And you ask why people are like, to heck with it. You understand? Like, if you're going to do the same mundane, monotonous thing day in and day out, and you can't even afford to get a car that's not $750 to $1,000 a month, and then when that bubble bursts, that car's going to own you, and the bank's going to take the car back because your car's only going to be worth 27 cents when you pull it off the lot. Now you ask me, do you own your car? Do you own your home? Or does the bank own you? Or that broken down worthless car that you owe 90 grand on own your ass too? Wake up.